Now we move to factors responsible for changes in equilibrium position. It is possible for equilibrium to change position at every point in time due to some certain factors, which are: number one is increase in demand, 2, decrease in demand. Next one is increase in supply, also decrease in supply. Now for increase in supply, when there is an increase in supply, automatically there will be increase in the quantity demanded and also increase in the price. This will change position of equilibrium from one point to the other. Now for increase in demand, when there is an increase in demand, there is a bodily shift of demand from one point to the other, which it can be depicted as represented in this graph, where we have price P1, price P2, drawn to Q1, this one also drawn to Q2. Here we have now for an increase in demand, which will show increase in quantity demanded and also increase in price. There is a bodily shift of demand from one position, which is D0 to D1. This is the point of equilibrium. Now the shift is from D0 to D1, stating that there is an increase or there is a change of position D0 to D1. Now we move to decrease in demand. For decrease in demand, this is a bodily shift of demand inward. That is, it's also changed position from one place to the other, but this time around is coming in, and this can be represented also in a graph where we have D1, D2, have a supply curve S, we have our D0, D1. Now there's an inward movement of this curve. This was the original position of equilibrium, and now it has changed position due to decrease in demand, and which will lead to what now? Which will lead to decrease in quantity demanded and also decrease in price. So from here we also move to increase in supply. How does increase in supply affect equilibrium position? This can be represented on a graph. P2 drawn to meet Q1 and P1 drawn to meet Q2. Here we have the demand curve constant. So we have the supply curve x, x0, x0. We have another supply curve here, x1, x1. Now for increase in supply is a bodily shift of supply outside from one position to the other. This was the original position because there was an increase in supply. So definitely there's an outward shift of this supply, this equilibrium point, to another place, which is this. So we have moved the equilibrium from x0 to x1, showing increase in quantity demanded and increase in price. Also, we have decrease in supply. Decrease in supply can better be explained also on a graph. On a graph where we have P2 drawn to meet Q1 and P1 drawn to meet Q2. We all know that our demand curve remains constant, the supply curve varies. X0, X0, X1, X1. Now, because we are dealing with decrease in supply, and when there is decrease in supply, what happens is that there's a bodily shift of supply curve inward. So it moves inward, showing that this was the original equilibrium position, which has now moved to this position that we have here. So it has moved from x0 to x1. So with this, I believe you understood factors that is responsible for changes in equilibrium position. Now we move to situations that occurs when government fix price in the economy. Now we move to price determination under a regulated market. By regulated market, we mean where government determine price. Price determination under a regulated market can also be referred to as price legislation. This is a situation where the price of goods and services are determined by government. This could either be minimum or maximum price legislation. So we have two types of price legislation, which are minimum price legislation and maximum price legislation. By minimum price legislation, we mean this is the least or the smallest amount of money a commodity is sold in a market. This is actually fixed by the government. Now, minimum price legislation. This is the smallest amount of money at which a commodity is to be sold, fixed by government. Minimum price legislation can also be referred to as price floor. Nobody is allowed by law to sell below this price. The reason why government fix minimum price legislation is so that they can determine the minimum wage rate to pay to laborers or workers. This can be explained using a graph where we have price 1, equilibrium position, demand and supply, demand, Now we have price 2, which is drawn this way across these two lines. Any attempt to sell below this price is not noticeable. Now, if price is fixed at P1, there is no noticeable effect. But if price is fixed above P2, definitely supply will be demand at Q1 rather, while suppliers will supply at Q2. And if demand is at Q1 and suppliers supply at Q2, it's automatically showing here excess supply. Automatically showing excess supply because demand is at Q1 while supply is at Q2. Now to maximum price legislation. Maximum price legislation is the highest amount a commodity is to be sold, fixed by government. Maximum legislation could also be referred to as price ceiling. This can be better explained using a graph where we have price P2 showing the original market price, showing the normal equilibrium position, supply, demand. Now we have price 1, don't forget we have Q1 here, Q2 rather. Price 1 here, drawn across. Now, if price is fixed at normal market equilibrium, if it's fixed at normal market, this is the normal market equilibrium, it causes no noticeable effect. But if it's sold below P1 here, it shows to us that Q1 and P1, showing that quantity supplied is Q1 and quantity demanded is Q2, telling us that there is excess demand. Why? Because at X, at P1 here, at this location here, quantity supplied was Q1, and at D here, quantity demanded was Q2, which is more than Q1. So with this, we have come to the end of price determination under a regulated market.